Hello, and how are you doing? Apologies, I wanted to start on time. I got a couple of things I had to take care of first, and needed a glass of OJ. Had a bit of a bit of a delay getting started, and I'm sorry for that. It happens. It's not the end of the world. So I'm going to remove my glasses so that I don't cast any reflection, because I don't want to do that. So the new studio is not 100%, but it's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's almost completely done. And I am in an ISO booth, believe it or not. Yeah, you're looking at a green screen, so the background is the background we've always had. But it's a static image for the time being. I will eventually get a webcam posted so that it can view that angle live, so we can see the flicker of the candle. But I am in a different space, in an isolation booth, so that we won't have any background noise. To a degree. I mean, this chair is still a little squeaky, and I'm not spending money on a new one. This is only 2 years old, so it needs to last a long time. And another camera here, and I can see if I can bring in the imagery of it. Hang on a sec here. It's there we go. I'll change the background imaging. Give me a sec here. So there, looking at the studio. Some of it anyway. I got a light that's supposed to be on and it's not on. Alas. Anyway, the studio cam. Let me just turn on this one light here. Is that too much? If the lighting's okay, let me know. How you doing, Stephen? I hope you're well. 1 second. So yeah, the new studio is almost complete. Still waiting on a couple of things. I ordered some new parts tomorrow that should be arriving in the afternoon, and hopefully by next Monday I'll have everything up and running at 100%. And once that's done, I can start to produce more content for you on a much more regular basis, along with some additional subscriber or joiner content. I don't completely understand how that works, but I have to produce more content, apparently, I'm told. So between the day job, the other day job, the music podcasts, and this, I'm kind of a busy fellow. And my partner, the lovely Bridget, is always telling me that I need to slow down a little bit. And I'm not going to argue with her, but I don't really know how to do that. I'm used to running at a certain pace, and when I said it to her in that way, she knew what I meant, because she is a long-distance runner. She does trail runs. So, when I explained it to her in that way, it totally made sense to her. But let's talk about the month of November and how, at this time of the year, oftentimes the cold November rain rolls in, and it can get to be really emotionally dark, largely due to the fact that if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, such as I am, and I know that many viewers, listeners, participants are also still in the Northern Hemisphere, maybe not as far north as I am, but nevertheless, some are further away. Some are further north, some are further south, but either way, the daylight hours have diminished significantly. Now that we've switched from daylight savings time to standard time, we have a little bit more sunshine in the morning. However, it now gets dark at 4:30 p.m. By 5:30 p.m., it looks like midnight. And that is always a difficult transition. For myself, yes, but I'm not unique. I know there are millions of other folks around North America, throughout the world actually, in the Northern Hemisphere, who feel the same way too. The time of year when we transition from daylight savings to standard time, it's not only a difficult emotional transition because we have less daylight hours, but it also is an indicator that the year is coming to an end. In the dark period, which is November. And I know that technically the days get darker until the 21st of December, but November is a dark period for most of us. For most of us. I do realize that my American friends have Thanksgiving to look forward to in the third week of November. So that's, a pleasantry. And, as Canadians, we have the Grey Cup to look forward to at that time, which is the Canadian Football Championships, much similar to the Super Bowl, but we play it in November as opposed to February when, it's a little colder and a lot snowier. And if you're a Green Bay, Wisconsin fan, a Green Bay Packers fan from Green Bay, Wisconsin, or familiar with that, you would understand that, Green Bay is quite far north, almost as far north as Ottawa, actually, which means that their winter can be very Canadian, which is cold and snowy and wet and damp, not exactly a joyous time of the year. So that if you're playing, if you're in the NFL and you have to play a late February playoff game, I feel for you, man. That's not pleasant. I understand. I've played out in the snow. And I play hockey outside too. But that's for another day. Yeah, you're right, Stephen. Ending the day with no sunlight is a bummer. I get up every day at 5 a.m. And the sun usually doesn't come up till, I think now it starts to rise at about 6:30, 6:45, something like that. I'm not entirely sure. I do a live political show at 7 a.m. By the time I leave for work, the sun is up. But it's still, you wake up in the dark and you go home in the dark, and that makes this time of the year difficult. It's not exactly the easiest time, for sure. I mean, I am thankful that as the Christmas season approaches, for those who celebrate, and even for those who don't, you still may see a joyous time reflected in the faces of the average person, because they're feeling the spirit of Christmas. And you need to remember, even if you don't celebrate, you don't have to be Christian to celebrate Christmas. And I mean that sincerely, because the spirit of Christmas is peace on earth, goodwill towards others. Who doesn't want to celebrate that? That is the message, peace on earth, goodwill towards all. Yes, I know that used to say all men, but I'm like goodwill towards all. And that's something that I think sometimes gets lost in translation. And I'm not trying to be political here, because that's not what I'm doing, and I'm not being religious here, because I definitely don't do that. But it is a message that we can all, I think, embrace. Peace on earth, goodwill towards all. That's the spirit of Christmas. And that's why I love the Christmas season. And there's always that sort of feeling of emptiness and loss and sadness immediately after Christmas, when you're not in that sort of warmth, spiritual embrace. I don't know what else to call it. But when the season ends and you don't know what else to do with yourself, if you're like me, it's like ski season has begun. And that's what carries me through until the snow is gone. I'm not a fan of autumn, and I'm not a fan of spring. Late spring, yes. Early spring, no. Because I still want to ski. I want to be able to ski until, tomorrow all the snow melts and it's, late spring weather. It doesn't work that way, of course. We don't switch the weather off. It does what it does, and we have to learn how to deal with it. Skiing is my second favorite thing on earth to do. I would ski every day of my life if I could. Pretty good at it, too. I'm not Olympic class, of course, and I am 55, so I'm not doing tricks or stunts or rails or any of that sort of thing. But I'll do the double black diamonds, the black diamonds, the blues. I might do a green at the end of my day, and maybe to warm up the legs at the start of my day. But normally I just do a blue to start, do a few blues here and there, a few blacks here and there, a few double blacks here and there. Not big into the moguls because the knees take a pounding. But what I'm getting at is finding the joy in the darkness. Because winter can be difficult. Autumn certainly is. And I don't particularly, hang on a second. I think my microphone is not working correctly. Goodness, bear with me for a second here. Looks to me like things are off. No, should be okay. Do I sound okay? Just noticed something strange and thought I would look into it. Sounds okay? Okay. Thank you. Just getting a strange indication on my panel here. Not quite sure why. Very strange. Okay, let me just adjust it a bit. Should be better. Maybe just the labeling. Yes, that's what it is. Yes, it's just, I was thrown by, I looked up and I saw something on the control panel that said something else, and I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. Echoey? Okay. Better now? Just kill everything else here. Should be just the one. Let me just lower the volume a bit. And how's that sound? Is that better? It's one of these things when you rebuild the studio, everything doesn't always work out exactly as you want it to. My console says it's this, the software says it's that, and it's very confusing. Just adding to the more confusion that we have at this time of the year. How do we feel? Halloween is over. It's 3 weeks to the Grey Cup, or 3 weeks to Thanksgiving if you live in the United States. And those are a long 3 weeks, a dark period. And of course, this Saturday here in Canada, we have Remembrance Day. I believe you call it Veterans Day in the US. Correct me if I'm wrong. Where we remember our veterans, our soldiers who serve to give us this life that we like to complain about so very much. And I don't mean that in a negative manner. It just is what it is. We have the freedom to complain about, well, everything. And isn't that really what they fought for? It's funny. So in Ontario, the province where I reside, Remembrance Day was a holiday, a day off. The word holiday is kind of a misnomer because it's not a day of joy. It's a day of remembrance. It's a reverent day. And in 1984, they changed it. That was the last time. Sorry, 83. My apologies. 1983 was the last time it was a holiday in the province of Ontario. They took it away. And we had moved to the province of New Brunswick, where it was still, and still is, observed as a holiday, or a day off, or it's a paid day off. Here in Ontario, if you work retail, your day starts at noon. If you work in an office and you do not work for the government, your day starts at your regular hour. And you're asked to take a few minutes at 11 a.m. to observe. We've been lobbying the provincial government for a long time to bring it back and make it a statutory holiday. And again, it's a misnomer, but a statutory holiday, which would mean you get paid your wages for the day so that you could go down to the cenotaph, place your poppy on the tomb of the unknown soldier, and pay your respects. I attend every year when I can. And I say when I can because my occupation doesn't always allow it. Oftentimes I'll be working downtown, and I am working downtown in an office now, so I can take the time to observe. But oftentimes I was out of the downtown core, and I was nowhere near a memorial of any type, and 11 would come and I'd stop, we'd turn on the radio or put something online or turn on a television to watch, the ceremony, and then we had to go back to work, which I think is terrible. Because the young people today observe that day in a manner, in a manner that it should be. They understand the sacrifices that were made, and they're not anywhere near it. I mean, I grew up with my grandfather who fought in World War I. And I heard the stories because he told them to me. Passed away in 93. Been a long time. He was 99 at the time. But I digress. We're here to talk about November and how it can make you feel a little dark sometimes. And let's face it, Remembrance Day is not exactly a day of joy or happiness. It's a day where we often feel emotions. I have a lot of friends and family who served, some who still do. And the thing is, I always attend when I can, when I can. And because it's on a Saturday this year, I'll be able to attend. And then I usually meet a group of veteran friends at a pub afterwards. And not going to lie, we have a few drinks. And it's okay. Because oftentimes some of these fellas need to release some of their emotions that they've been keeping inside. I want to say kept, but keeping is the word that popped into my head, and I stumbled over it, as I sometimes do. They want to release their emotions, and in doing so, it's sometimes a couple of whiskeys and some beer helps to do that. And me, I just want to sit and listen and be with my buddies and hopefully provide them whatever comfort I can. Some of them have seen things that I've only read about. And I'm thankful I didn't have to witness. So yeah, November's a complicated month with a lot of complex emotional times. And I do know that for my American friends, because Thanksgiving is approaching, that the last number of years, the family get-together at Thanksgiving has been a little complicated. Not just because of COVID, but because of other outlying factors. And for that, I hope that you're able to get together with your friends, family, loved ones, and just enjoy each other's company. The thing that I say to a group of friends of mine, we get together every year at my buddy's cottage, and we have a big weekend, and we play golf, and we barbecue, and we drink beer, and we smoke cigars, and we sit in a hot tub, and we fish, hang out on the dock, and the same thing I say every year. And they go, you're right, every year, is that we don't know how many days like this we have left in our lives. So when you have an opportunity to spend it with people that you cherish, that you respect, that you admire, that you love, you have a chance to spend time with them like that, take that time. Make the most of it. I can't tell you how to do that. Only you know. But it's important that you do it, because those days, the older you get, the less you have. Like it or not, it's a simple fact of reality. So make the most of each day, when and where you can. And I do understand that's easier said than done oftentimes, but you got to do what you can. Okay, my friends. I'm going to take my leave here. I will be back next Monday for sure. I'm going to try and produce some additional content for you, as the studio build-out is almost complete. Things are really coming together for me, and I'm happy to say I'm almost done. Until we meet again, I'll see you soon. Take care.